If you're ready to hit the track in the iRacing Ford FR500S Mustang, then sign up for the Barber Ford Mustang Club today. With great prizes from our awesome sponsors, this league is fast, fun, and best of all, free to race in. Take on 6 races of wheel-to-wheel action, all broadcasted live on Pit Stop TV. As a member, you will receive a $500 voucher to Barber Ford, plus entry into a raffle for a brand new Fanatec H-pattern shifter. Every point you earn on the track is 1 entry into the raffle, meaning you can race your way into a brand new Fanatec shifter drawn on December 15th. Battle your competitors at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Brands Hatch, and for the finale, Lime Rock Park. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club at League ID 3350 today. If you're ready to hit the track in the iRacing Ford FR500S Mustang, then sign up for the Barber Ford Mustang Club today. With great prizes from our awesome sponsors, this league is fast, fun, and best of all, free to race in. Take on 6 races of wheel-to-wheel action, all broadcasted live on Pit Stop TV. As a member, you will receive a $500 voucher to Barber Ford, plus entry into a raffle for a brand new Fanatec H-pattern shifter. Every point you earn on the track is 1 entry into the raffle, meaning you can race your way into a brand new Fanatec shifter drawn on December 15th. Battle your competitors at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Brands Hatch, and for the finale, Lime Rock Park. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club at League ID 3350 today.
Production Car Challenge is one of the classic iRacing series that takes slow cars and somewhat less slow cars and puts them on road courses all across the world and just has fun. Quite frankly, this might be one of my favorite series to have ever raced it on iRacing, and Zach Murtis, welcome to Production Car Challenge. I think this just might also be my favorite series to cover on iRacing. I am so excited to welcome in all of our drivers this evening and this season for SimLab Production Car Challenge competition. And we are at the virtual Oulton Park circuit in the virtual Little Budworth, England. I am so excited to get this season going. Welcome to Pit Stop TV, all of you that are joining us for the first time. And a big thank you to Barber Ford for having us here this evening. A huge asset here. Barber Ford with their Mustang Club on Friday evenings, 1 month apart through the rest of 2023, was kind enough to bring us in here and see more Mustang racing on Monday nights through Production Car Challenge. I'm very excited to get things rolling. Zach, let's get right down to it. Let's take a look at the track we're at this evening. That's not the right one. Hang on. That's what we're looking for. The Oulton Park circuit. I'm really excited for this. This is a really cool course. It is a shorter version though. We're on the Island Historic course, which means we're not running the Hislop chicane. We're actually taking the earlier hairpin right before Island Bend. I'm reading it and I couldn't get that one out. Right at that Britain's chicane. So it's a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker, and these guys are still running in about the 126, 125 region, or a little bit slower than that for slower classes. And that's the other part, Zach. We have got 4 total classes in this series that we'll be talking about throughout the course of the season. We've got Ford Mustangs, we've got Renault Clios, which are front-wheel drive, we've got Toyota GR86 Cup cars, and we've got Mazda Miatas, all on track, all in this fantastic series. And Zach, this is just one really cool place to get it going. Let's take a look at the schedule. This is also a really cool schedule.
Yeah, Oulton Park is starting us off tonight, which is always a great track, and then we're moving straight over to Suzuka. One high-speed, fast-paced track, one that's a fan favorite, especially with the new Super Formula that just graced the iRacing server. One car that you absolutely need to go check out. Okayama follows that with Silverstone and Spa. These are just some great tracks to look forward to, Andrew, and the rest of the schedule looks like it looks like these cars are going to have a lot of great racing ahead of them.
Absolutely. A lot of really good racetracks and a couple that are a little bit interesting. I'd say this Oulton Park layout, the Island Historic layout, is a little bit interesting for these guys, but should be a lot of fun. We are also going to one of the Nürburgring Nordschleife venues, layouts, as per usual for Production Car Challenge. That's going to be new for us. Haven't done that in a long time. We're throwing in Willow Springs, a brand new track to iRacing, now 1 season removed. Okayama was just redone as far as art. And we have Silverstone twice, despite going to 2 different layouts at Silverstone, and then we close things out at the now defunct Oran Park Raceway on week number 12. Now this is top split. That said, this is top split for the 9:30 p.m. Eastern race. That means this is the second race of the week. I know Austin Knight and Kevin Parrish were going through and running in that race in the Mustang. I do know as well that Austin Knight, one of the community reps here for Production Car Challenge, is now running in a Clio, or at least so he's told me. I think that's to be right. I'm going to look over my yellow names, and yes, Austin Knight is in a Clio. And let's take a look at qualifying speeds throughout the course. Here we go. Throughout the course of the field, and this is cool, Zach. We've never done this before. 4 classes on one ticker, all sorted by the different manufacturer, and you can reference the class guide on the right side of the screen. Blue is Ford's, yellow is Renault's, silver is Mazda's. We're actually going to flip the Mazda on Toyota for next week. I thought the Mazdas would be faster, but then red for the Toyota, so you can reference who is where and who is in what class. Now, as far as qualifying, Zach, overall, Kevin Parrish is the fastest, Scott Banks is second, and here's a look at his number 1 as he takes around the racetrack and qualifying. This is lap number 2 for him, so he could go faster. If he picks up a half second, he could go for overall pole.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just so amazed with that ticker. Is this Pit Stop TV or is this an IMSA broadcast? I mean, look at all of these great classes we got going on. Banks goes, oh, that is close up there for pole time. That is very close, and I believe that was his second lap, if I'm not mistaken.
That was. That was lap number 2 for Scott Banks, and boy, the Mustangs are already going to be exciting, I think. That close for pole up front. Barber Ford picked a good one to join us for. Dustin Slider is 4th quick. Of course, he comes from that Barber Ford Mustang Club, and there's a few of those drivers in this race this evening that we'll see some familiar names. Of course, Kevin Parrish out front, Dustin Slider in the 4th spot, David Lamb ran this past race at I gotta think Road Atlanta just a couple of days ago, and we're gonna see I think that trend continue over the course of the season as we go on to Suzuka and beyond. You know what, the ticker button's in a new spot since we have now a 4-class ticker. Everything's kind of shifted, and I might hit that button wrong a couple times, but we'll get through it this evening here at the virtual Alton Park circuit. Let's take a look, Zach, at our full grid. Now, there is going to be one stipulation. Not everything will be sorted by classes. So this grid, I will say, is the overall grid. We're going to make our best. Let's go ahead and go through all 32 cars this evening on pole. That is Kevin Parrish in car number 4. That's a Mustang. Your top 6 are all Mustangs this evening. Kevin Parrish, Scott Banks in the front row. Starting second, it's David Finch and Dustin Slider in the 27 car. He rolls off 4th. Starting 5th and 6th, David Lamb and Eric Schulhoff. Rounding out the top bit of Mustangs. Now, let's see how it actually sorts this. It's going to sort it by qualifying time. And this is, I actually mentioned in the PCC Discord, this is one of those things. We're brand new to a 4-class series. We're going to have some adjustments to make. This is going to sort drivers by overall time. Michael Folds is the top Mazda driver. He actually out-qualified all of the Renaults this evening. He qualified 7th quick, but he will, of course, be starting further back in the Mazda Miatas. These guys are starting in their separate groups. So I guess a little bit of a discrepancy, if you will, a small adjustment we'll have to make over the course of the season. We're going to get that sorted. It might take a week or two, but that is going to be something to pay attention to. It's an adjustment. 4 classes is something brand new for us, so we kind of got short notice. So we're going to let these go by on the bottom of your screen. You'll see your favorite drivers and hopefully yourself. I hope we've got some drivers out there watching, but some other notables throughout the field. How about Trevor Roy, the 2nd fastest Miata driver? We did just see Nicholas Eatsvon. He is starting, well, qualified 10th overall, at 1st in the Renaults, our fastest Renault driver, as the rest of these guys go on through. Also want to mention Nicholas Sudik, the fastest Toyota driver in qualifying. Zach, I know this is a lot to take in, but I'm really excited for these 25 minutes to get going.
Yeah, I know it's always something new to take in when we're starting off with something brand new, but we all thank you guys for coming out to Pit Stop TV and showing some support for something that is absolutely an amazing series on iRacing. And, you know, Andrew, I know that Austin was in here a little bit ago before we actually got the broadcast started, and you guys were talking about, you know, the differences in how the cars are going to handle. Obviously, the Fords, the Mustangs are going to take over, and they're going to lead the field. And then you've got the Toyotas, the Miatas, and you've got the Renaults. So all these cars are just going to handle differently. They all have their great characteristics that make them just overall drive so well and make racing so competitive between all the fields. One thing that I want to ask you about before we take the green flag here is, do you think that some of these guys are just going to end up, well, maybe having their own fun little thing going on throughout the field tonight?
This whole thing is a fun little thing as our race leaders come down the front stretch, and just like that, get this season of Production Car Challenge Racing underway. Big time start from Kevin Parrish out front as we sort through the first quarter here. Now the Renaults coming up to the front stretch. They get their race going. 2 cars in this race for them. The Toyotas come across the line, begin things off, and Trevor Roy leads us to the green in the Mazda Miatas. All 4 classes taking the green flag. Let's go back up, though, to our Ford Mustangs as they head down to the island bend, and the first big passing opportunity of this race, the big hairpin here at turn 4.
Yeah, we have one spin in the back as they were all making their way down in, but it looks like we're all going to make it through clean. There is the one spinner, and that is the number 30 car.
Zarkowski.
Yep. He's got some right front damage there on that Ford, but it looks like he's going to get it back going right in front of the Miatas as he makes his way through the hairpin.
One more spinner.
On entry. Oh.
A Toyota out wide. This is going to be Wesley Franco, and he drops back now nearly to the Miata field as we get lap 1 sorted out. Up front, though, a really good fight between our Mustangs. Kevin Parrish, one of the best to do it. A Mustang has got one of the best to do it in a Mustang right on his back end. Scott Banks going down to turn number 9. Scott's got the inside, backs out.
Yeah, it looks like he's just playing the patient game right now as you've got 25 minutes in this race, coming up on 23 and a half as they complete the first lap, and that's the 30 around again.
Yeah, Zarkowski having some trouble in the back, but out front, clean and green between our front race leaders. Parrish with the lead, completing lap number 1, and you can see the different intervals per class throughout the course of this field on the left side of your screen on the ticker. We can't catch every crash. We'll look at a few of them as these guys are side by side for the overall race lead. The Mustangs are having fun, and Banks gets out wide out of turn 3.
Yeah, that rear end stepped out a little bit, and Parrish is going defensive moving into the next corner. Let's see how it handles this. They're about a car length between. Look at how close they get going through the hairpin. Who's going to have the run coming down the straightaway?
Looks like Parrish has still got the edge over Scott Banks. Let's go inside the helmet of Scott Banks, down this long backstretch into Knickerbrook, turn number 5. And this is just such a cool perspective. We have this for most, if not all, of our cars here at Pit Stop TV. This is inside the helmet of Scott Banks and seeing pretty much exactly what he sees in his sim. And you know what? If he had VR, this would be even closer as they fired out of turn number 7. Oh, so close to Kevin Parrish, right on that inside line. And Banks actually took a better corner there on entry, and it translated to exit. That was beautiful.
Yeah, but he had a little bit of correction there on exit, but it looks like he's just going to stay in line. Scott Banks waiting for a mistake to happen out of Kevin Parrish. You can see just how close they get coming out of the final corner. These two are nose to nose, and they are walking away from the rest of the field almost about 2 seconds in front.
As these two stay single file, I want to quickly focus on our Renaults back here. Nicholas Eitzvon still leading, Larry Love in this class as well. These two, I think, are going to have a passionate fight. Hopefully it's all love between these guys and no war. Nicholas Sudik back here leading in the Toyotas. He is currently 13th overall. Tyler Agostino is in the 14th position overall, but second in class. So the Toyotas are all on a line back here, and I really do enjoy this car. I know the focus will be pretty much on the Mustangs. They have the best racing right now, but I really do enjoy taking the Toyota around. I can't quite drive the Mustang, right? I like driving it as well, but it's just a little over my head. This Toyota, there's so much grip in it, and it really is pleasing to get around the circuit. Michael Folds, though, leading down in Miata territory, and he was actually the top Miata in the first race as well. So Michael Folds, we know him from the oval side, is really showing out here in the Miatas in Production Car Challenge, but he is not having such a great time with his connection blinking into the hairpin there, Zach. He's got some work to do on that part.
Yeah, and Michael Folds, we know that face, Andrew. We've seen him when it comes to a lot of the Legend Car stuff that we've done here on Pit Stop TV with, you know, Short Track Monday nights and seeing him in Top Split over there. So it's nice to see him as we got to fight for the lead here. Scott Banks has finally got underneath Kevin Parrish, and they are side by side running up the hill.
That was the moment that Scott Banks needed as they worked down the front stretch side by side, headed to turn number 1. Banks on the inside, that's the preferred line for sure. You always want to be on the inside into turn 1, and that works nicely. It's a purple lap time as well from Scott Banks. Do want to quickly take a look at weather conditions for this race. 70 degrees in the air, 82 on track. It's a nice warm day right in the middle of the day. Noon, I believe, is when the session launched in Sim. So these guys are working through the heat for sure, at least the English heat, if you can really call it heat. But Kevin Parrish now falling back into second spot. I think this might be how the race sorts out between these two, but Parrish isn't done. Great quarter there at turn 4.
Yeah, you saw Scott Banks run a little wide there. He might have wheel hopped it or missed the braking zone as Kevin Parrish is sitting right in his taillights going into the next corner, getting an aerial view here as they roll in through. And I think that they're going to stay together as we saw just a little bit of the left rear going into the grass there. These guys are not holding back anything right now. It is an all-out brawl for that lead position, Andrew.
Problems for Nicholas Eitzvon last lap. He has taken it to the garage area, leaving just Larry Love out there in the Renaults. We've actually got 3 Renaults in this race. Here's Larry Love as he's out front, I believe, in Australia. That's why his graphic isn't loading for his club. But good to see Larry here regardless. The other Renault on track is Austin Knight, who had something go wrong, and he actually started from the pit lane. But we've gotten used to that Racing Forces livery from the Barber Ford Mustang Club as Scott Banks goes purple one more time out front, a 1:26.184 for the fastest driver in the field. Let's take a look at Austin Knight working through the Mazdas and others. He's actually got Larry Love right behind him, so he's trying to stay, I think, on the lead lap. Vattery's trying to get back on the lead lap.
I think he just got back on the lead lap for being in that class. And, you know, I've actually never seen an onboard when it comes to the Renault. It's one car that I actually don't have on the service. So it's interesting to see, especially when it's a front-wheel drive car. It's not going to drive the same as a lot of these other cars that are rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So it's nice to see the differences between a lot of these classes when it comes to the new cars coming to iRacing. So it's just so great to see how these guys are actually tackling being able to race, as they've got a few Toyotas right behind them and some wheel lock going into the corner.
Yeah, I mentioned I mentioned initially that Austin was trying to work through Miatas, and I think for position that's the truth. But he is actually well behind them and is actually working through some Toyotas that are up higher in the field. Tyler Agostino is just ahead of this bunch, as we've got some drivers mixing up further back. How about a Miata and a Toyota battle? This is Viron. We're just going to go with Viron. I think you'll understand why with the last name. But Viron working on Dennis Marinos. This is for the 24th position overall.
Would be, however, for top 5, I believe, in class.
Here we go. This adds some context to the left side. Here comes Trevor Roy trying to get on by, and that Mazda Miata not able to go on by just yet for that position.
Switchback.
Back on board, yeah, crossover, and this is going to make it 3 wide, nearly crashing into turn 9. Oh, not crashing. What a save.
Sliding through. Oh,
that's not a save.
Around.
That is what we expected from Production Car Challenge at least once or twice. And you know what, I really do want to say, I really appreciate this community as a whole, as we've got one car spun around on the front stretch, for really engaging with this broadcast already, because there is a slight meme factor that we can't ignore when we come in and sign up to do this. But these guys have put on some amazing racing to get the season started. That's a problem. Eric Schuloff in trouble.
Goodness.
That is a destroyed number 20. Yeah, Eric, you're not making it back to the pit lane. You can see the new damage model at work for this Mustang. That he's not making it back.
You can't even see the rotor on the left front. Looks like he's going to try to keep going. There's the brake. You can see the brake pad on that left front, but look at the front end of this car. Look at how dipped into the asphalt it is. Kevin Parrish goes purple this lap. We've got
he actually
Miata.
Just took the lead back. This is the onboard, though, with Eric Schuloff down the backstretch. The fact that he's almost out driving that Mazda, that's interesting. Eric's not going to have any turn. Oh, he's trying. I commend the effort.
The right rear's in the air, though.
I think he would have better luck if he were to get out of the car and put a new left front on himself. Yep, that's the wall.
See how he handles another right-hand turn.
Our leaders are headed his way as Kevin Parrish has actually moved back into the first spot, Zach. I'm not sure how this pass happened. We can actually, you know what? Let's take a look back. Let's see if we can find where this pass happened between these two drivers. It was actually, wow, a while ago. It's going to take a few rewinds for us to get back to it, but this is surprising to me. Parrish got straight back by me. He's been out front now for a while, actually, a couple of laps while we were checking in with the rest of the field. Parrish made his move and got back by. Also, to check back in with our three-wheeled Mustang.
He has made it to the pit lane.
I'm impressed.
And before the leaders got to him, there they are coming up the hill.
I am thoroughly impressed by Eric Schuloff out of California. I said he was done, that the car wouldn't make it back around. I was wrong. I admit it.
You're not the only one. If you guys, the viewers cannot hear the race communication in the session, but a lot of the drivers actually just congratulated him on making it back to the pit lane, so kudos.
We've got a Mustang back here in enemy territory. William Martin racing with a couple of Toyota GR86s. He's just ahead now of Dennis Marinos and behind Wesley Franco. This is 21st overall for William Martin, and he certainly needs to move a little higher up and try to capitalize on some errors maybe from other Mustang drivers, but he's got a long ways to go. 30 seconds or so between himself and the next Mustang up the road, and he's definitely got some damage, wobbling all the way into the turn 9 braking zone. Look at the left front. He's definitely hit something immovable rather hard.
Yeah, it might have honestly been another car, or it could have just been an outside retaining wall, but that's definitely going to have an effect on his ability to be able to drive that car, especially in the right-hand corners. Oh, we got one car running wide right there.
That was Wesley Franco getting way out there from Brazil. Wesley is really committing through turn 1. Wesley's currently in the 6th spot in class, 20th overall, and he's got a completely separate Toyota up behind him. I'm not sure if that's a lapped car. It would have to be, because Wesley's not a lap down. But that lapped car is really giving him some trouble, and that is going to be the 6th car of John Butler, it looks like, from down under. And, oh, the door opening now. That Mustang just behind that we were just looking at. William Martin opened the door nearly to Dennis Marinos, and this is causing a big bunch up in the Miatas.
Hey, full send or no send. That's what I always say, is the Miatas are rolling up on these Toyotas and the Fords. Look at them just sweeping through the corner. I love looking at that Barbie car. It just looks so beautiful.
I'm glad you added car there.
I don't know if it's for memes or not, but the Barbie car just looks amazing as they roll through side by side with the Toyotas. Look at that pass. A little bit in the grass. We saw some kick up, but it looks like the 13, I believe. I'm not sure who that is, actually.
That was...
And the Miatas are sending it up the inside.
So Trevor Roy is the number 13 orange Miata now coming up. It was the 10 car of Dennis Marinos making that pass on that other lapped car, the number 6 of John Butler. And now the Miatas are going through. Andres Navarro has made a pass on Dennis Marinos for overall position. And now Marinos being overtaken. Contact as they're out in the grass. Good catch as Frank Ryan's going to go by. That was almost really disastrous. We've got a fight now further up in the Toyotas. How about Andrew Perkins and Andrew Sharp, a couple of great first names racing up here.
Yeah, nose to tail going into the next corner as they've got the Renaults right behind them. Look at the run as Andrew Perkins is right on the bumper. He's going to back off just a little bit, try to set up the run coming on corner exit, but it looks like he's going to fall just short going up the hill there.
On board with Andrew Sharp. This is 3rd place in Toyota class. I just love watching the onboard sometimes, seeing what these guys are doing. And you mentioned absolutely right, those Renaults just behind of Larry Love and Austin Knight running 1st and 2nd, despite being apart by 2 laps. On board now with Andrew Perkins as he follows through turn number 9. Further ahead, we've also got some fighting for the Toyota lead. Nicholas Sudik still with company from Tyler Agostino. And let's go to Tyler's actual in-helmet camera. There we go. Behind the visor of our 2nd place Toyota on the racetrack. These guys are 9th and 10th overall. Again, such a cool perspective.
Yeah, the race for the lead is just heating up right now as we're rolling up on 10 minutes to go here in a little under a minute. The lead for the Fords is pretty close, and the lead for the Toyotas is pretty close as they are still fighting so hard. These two have not given up all race as Scott Banks is looking to that inside again, going into the last corner on the quarter panel, side by side. They are nose to nose coming up the hill. Who is going to lead this lap?
Parrish is going to keep it. Scott Banks, I think, might have throttled back a little bit, but now he is committing. Now he gets it back in line behind the lead Mustang. This is such great stuff between these two absolute aces out front. Now, Scott Banks' iRating outclassing the field, 58-46 coming into this race. That is well above anybody else. He really is showing these guys what for as far as iRating goes. The next closest is 500 behind him. That's Michael Folds leading in the Miatas. So clearly Scott's got this figured out, but right now he is being shown what for just a little bit by Kevin Parrish. That was close though, right at the braking zone for the hairpin. These guys are about to go full NASCAR style.
Yeah, almost on the bumpers there. A little bump and run action, which we don't usually see in the road course racing. But these two are just elbows out as they are going to roll up on lap traffic here actually within the next few minutes. You saw them just to the right of your screen going up the hill as these guys were coming down the straightaway. And oh my goodness, look at the curb hopping on that left side. Up the hill once again. It looks like Scott Banks is going to set up another run coming through the wide sweeping right-hander.
Really fun corner there at turn number 8, and oh boy, that got really close again for these guys. Not only hitting each other almost, but almost going off track every corner. Just such close quarter racing as they head back through turn number 9. Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed by these two in particular. Nothing against the rest of the Mustang field, but these two have been absolutely phenomenal. Further back, do you want to highlight some other Mustang drivers? How about David Lamb in the 4th position, following David Fench? And Dustin Slider back here in the 5th spot. Cars number 11 and 27, respectively. making it into the top 5 so far this evening. Still a little ways to go, 8 minutes and change. And this is our lead fight as they approach a Toyota and a Miata.
These lead fights have just been heating up all race. Only 8.5 minutes to go. The Sudik and, Sudik and Augustino have just made a swap of positions for the lead of the Toyota group.
And they've done the same for 3rd and 4th.
Yes, Sharp has fallen back, and not to quote the YouTube chat just a little bit ago, but yes, Anthony does have a very sharp-looking paint scheme. How to do the little pun there for you.
It's not Anthony, it's Andrew.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
The commentator not so sharp behind the mic, but that's okay. Look at this train of Miatas down the front stretch. Brian David Fuentes Martin, Trafford King, and I hope I got that right. You know what? Just the Fuentes, which I probably should say then David if I'm going with that kind of pronunciation. Regardless,
well, they are nose to nose going into the corner.
Yeah, Michael Carpenter, Chris Fox, the others in this fight. And actually, Brian is getting away from these guys. He's pulling away now from Trafford King, Michael Carpenter, and Chris Fox by just a little bit. But we have got a really good Miata fight right here. This is for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in class.
Yeah, these guys are all nose to tail. Just been so many great fights going on throughout the entire field, and it's so hard to keep track of it. We got one car loose coming out of the hairpin.
That was William Martin
back there.
Yeah, William Martin having some trouble. He did get a little bit sideways and lose a spot briefly to Andres Navarro, but he will give it back now as this group of Miatas now head through turn number 5, now up to 6 and 7 over the hill. There's a water tower somewhere that turn 7 was named for right here, but I couldn't find it earlier in the sim. I don't know if they just didn't add it in iRacing or what, but I was expecting a water tower and was very much disappointed earlier on today. Meanwhile, how about a fight for the 4th and 5th spots in Mustangs? David Lamb, Dustin Slider.
Looks like they are still very close together. You've got, that's Dustin Slider. It looks like the 20 car who went back into pit road to fix that left front tire. So I just got a little confused there because the pace schemes are just so similar.
Yeah, 2 classic looking white and blue Mustangs in the field. School off the other as, this is why Slider caught up like this. Dustin's being able to use that Mazda just ahead as a pick almost here on David Lamb. And finally, Lamb's going to find the way to get on by that. I believe it's a 13 of Eric Roy. Yes, it is. And both those Mustangs now getting by. Meanwhile, back up to our race leaders overall and in Mustang competition into turn number 3, Cascades. Still so close. I mean, this is a battle that really needs some strong appreciation. This is a really good way to get this season started between these two out front.
Yeah, they have not given up all race. You would think that at some point one of them would have some tire fall off and fall a little back. Whoa,
well, there it is.
Slide. And it looks like Scott Banks is going to have a big run going down the straightaway. Parrish being defensive. Oh, a little bit of bump draft action right here. You're right, Andrew. We are getting a little bit NASCAR style going in to the right-hander as they are still so close together.
This is really cool. This is just really cool. Right in the grill of this Ford Mustang, a camera positioned perfectly so that you can watch that bump draft in action and see the bumpers make contact as well. Parrish blinking a little bit. That got a little scary. I'm not going to lie. I thought maybe he had hit the incident limit somehow and was dropping out of the race. I can't imagine that would be the case. I'd imagine these guys are probably at 0 or 1, maybe 2x, if that is. Whoa, Parrish hanging it out there. We are getting close to the end of this race. I think we're going to have 4 laps to go this time by. It's game time.
Yeah, these guys are clocking, I want to say, what was the fastest time? About a 1:12 for the pole?
1:26.
1:26. So, yeah, you're right, about 3-4 laps. Ooh, we got to look. Scott Banks on the right-hand side. Gonna try the outside. Moving wide. Tokyo Drift trying to take the lead, but he's gonna get out in the grass just a little bit, and Kevin Parrish is gonna keep holding on to that lead position.
We've got a Miata turned around just ahead of these guys. That's Frank Ryan in that Barbie car that's been turned around and now gets back going. Thankful for that. That could have been hairy if he was trying to rejoin in front of the leaders. Now a slow Toyota up ahead. That is Wesley Franco, actually very slow. And the leaders are approaching, trying to get by to turn 5. I'm not sure what's gone on for Wesley. He's got a lot of damage.
It looks like that left rear might be down, or maybe even just the whole left side.
Yeah, he's hit something rather hard, and it could have been Frank Ryan. Regardless, back to our race leaders. Very, very close once again. Turn number 8, working up to turn 9. That seems like it's been kind of a precipice each lap. Like the peak of the action tends to be turn 9. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the fast corners leading up to it. But this lap, a lot more calm as Scott Banks just follows that race leader. Again, Scott's got the highest I rating. He might be planning a last-ditch effort here, a last-second attempt on Kevin Parrish, trying to bide his time and wait for the right opportunity.
And they're coming up on lap traffic here, and this is going to be a
car.
compromise.
Whoa!
In the turn, Kevin Parrish makes it through. The sea is parted.
That was John Butler.
My goodness. But that reels back in Scott Banks, who's dealing with that Barbie car on his inside. And they are going to clear the Miata and get back to their lead fight, rolling up on what should be 2 laps to go this time by. These guys are all over the place.
And you see the lap traffic up the road as they head down the backstretch now. A Miata, a Toyota, and a Ford. This is going to be interesting as we head into our final laps. William Martin has been kind of all over the place. No offense to him. He's just got a lot of damage in that car. You see it sideways through turn 5. This is going to get hairy for these 2 race leaders out front, trying to get these last 2 laps under their belt sack. This could be a little bit PCC, if you will.
Well, I've still been thoroughly impressed with the entirety of this race, as looking back through the rest of the field, Sudik got by Agostino for the lead in the Toyota class, as this lead still continues to fight on for the Fords. And I don't know, Andrew, this might be white flag here with how close it is on the time, or it might be 2 to go.
This will be 2 to go. These guys running 127s on the racetrack across the line at a 149 left, so 2 laps remaining. As there's your race leaders through turn number 1. You mentioned the Toyota class. Sudik has gone back by. That's absolutely right. So he's back into that first spot. Agostino just a half second back. Michael Folds hangs on to the Miata lead. And the Renault lead currently going to Larry Love. He's got a lap on Austin Knight as our race leaders going by William Martin. This could be really close in turn 4. Martin's still on the inside, trying to give it up for Scott Banks. That was close.
That was extremely close, almost taking out the second place car as they are fighting for the 4th place position. Oh, side by side into the right-hander. This is going to be a heated battle going down the straightaway.
That was 4th and 5th. That was David Lamb, Dustin Slider. We'll come back to them in a moment as our race leaders are in traffic. Now coming up on a slower Toyota and a Miata into a really fast technical portion of the racetrack. Turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. The Toyota gets over, goes 1 lap down willingly. That was Dennis Marinos. Now it's Andres Navarro's just ahead. And oh, Scott Banks are on the outside of that Toyota. That got hairy.
Yeah, this is going to be one key point where Kevin Parrish can try to pull away with the lap cars up in front. The Miata getting out of the way quite nicely as Scott Banks is trying to reel in that time lost, trying to work around the lap cars as we're rolling up the hill, Andrew.
1 lap to go at Oulton Park, and Scott Banks is within a half second of Kevin Parrish for the overall race win. These 2 Mustangs have been inseparable from the drop of the green. One more time around this legendary British circuit to end race 1 of our Production Car Challenge season. And these guys are going to run tons of races throughout the week, but this is race 1 for us on the broadcast, as there you see the official white flag presented by Whiplash SimCams. Once these guys cross the line, we'll go back and get every class battle across the line. But for right now, oh no. Unbelievable.
My goodness.
Unbelievable. I am so... Oh no. If that isn't Production Car Challenge, I don't know what is.
Unfortunate for us, as the battle was just heating up.
Are you in the session, Zach?
I am in the session, and I can tell you for certain.
Mind getting us a screen share quick? We'll get it up. We'll at least try to get the back end of this race. That is unbelievable.
This is coming to the checkered flag, and Kevin Parrish is going to hold on for what is going to be his first victory here with us on Pit Stop TV. Scott Banks directly behind him. and that is for your overall race win.
Oh,
Going backwards, though, Sudik is coming down the back straightaway himself. Still a bit of a gap to the second place car of Agostino.
that is unbelievable. We are going to load back into the session here and see if we can at least get in for interviews. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. If that isn't production car challenge for you, I really don't know what is. How about our commentator saving us here? Getting us at least footage at the back end of the race. I know there's no timing and scoring, what have you, but hopefully we can at least get results. I am absolutely blown away. There's Nicholas Sudik, though, across the line and winning in Toyotas.
And Michael Folds right behind them for the win in the Miatas. Rolling through the rest of the field, Austin Knight is going to go forth and take the victory. Larry Love took the victory in the Renault class.
Well, Zach, it's been a very production car challenge night. That's my best way to put it right now. Waiting on iRacing to finish loading, and there it is. We have the sim back. I can't believe that, and I just want to thank everybody for their patience with that. That is unbelievable. Unfortunately, we're not going to get results out of that because ATVO is now experiencing its own error. But
you see Kevin Parrish there burning it down for his overall victory.
Yeah, what a way for that to end. We've got cars in the air. Scott Banks taking the jump over the grass bank. Well, that's one way to close things out.
We would like to show our appreciation, though, for everybody in the YouTube chat sticking with us and, giving us some good feedback here, saying it's not our fault. Thank you for sticking with us and telling us what a great broadcast it is. We enjoy everyone who was able to come out tonight. And, even the guys who are in the race communications right now, still in the session, they're all just having a laugh. And, it's such a good community. Knowing that we had an error, it's being taken care of as we speak. And now we're back in the session. We're able to give you guys the remainder of our broadcast and still put on such a good show for you.
Well, unfortunately, ATVO is experiencing a very large issue with results. Zach, we can't put up any different graphics. Well, I guess I can close. We can close the graphics and reopen them. But it's gonna. I don't know that we're gonna have results. So would you mind going through verbally at least the top 5 in each class?
Absolutely. Top 5 going through the Ford class. We have Kevin Parrish and Scott Banks, obviously bringing home that 1-2 position. David Fench and David Lamb, and then Dustin Slider. Your top 5 for the Fords. And then rolling through the rest of the field, we have Nicholas Sudik and Tyler Agostino, first and second in class for their respective Toyotas, as well as Andrew Sharp, Andrew Perkins, and Pablo Faridi for the top 5 in the Toyotas. Michael Folds taking home the win in the Mazda Miatas, followed by Brian David Fuentes Martin, as well as Michael Carpenter, Chris Fox, and Trafford King for your top 5 in the Mazda Miatas. And then there is actually no top 5 because there were only 3 Renaults, as Larry Love, Austin Knight, and Nicholas Itzvan bring home those 3 positions. Itzvan finishing 16 laps down. Austin Knight 1 lap down. I'm sorry, Austin. Didn't mean to call you August. Austin Knight 1 lap down in that class, and Larry Love finishing on the lead lap, overall 14th after starting overall 14th. So honestly, Andrew, not a bad race. These guys were just all around doing amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed the racing tonight.
Really, really solid way to get the season going until the broadcast experienced that massive malfunction, and now... Oh, I'm trying to actually pull up a replay, but because... There we go. Okay. Oh, boy. You simply hate to see it. But again, thank you to everybody's understanding. I know that is not the way we wanted to end the end of the race. I'm a little blown away. I've experienced a lot in broadcasting, whether it's been real life or in the sim, what have you, but that is just the most production car challenge way for that to have gone. But anyway, Zach, we have got drivers ready to talk to us. Let's go through them. We've got several, actually. It looks like 4 ready to talk to us. We've got the Toyota winner as now Discord crashes, so you guys will hear my lovely voice for a moment, or maybe not so lovely. As Discord relaunches, we're having one of those nights. We'll get back into the production car challenge Discord. What a night this has been, but let's grab Austin Knight. I want to first off just congratulate this guy for the overall effort. Austin, I know you ended up second in Renault, which wasn't necessarily the biggest headline of this evening, but there has been a huge community response, and I'm going to get to Dustin Slider in a second. A huge community response. That's everything we wanted. Congratulations to you as a community manager. This has been awesome.
It absolutely is. Seeing the turnout, this was actually bigger than the first race of the season that we've had, and that was just music to my ears. Seeing the battle throughout the broadcast on the race as I was just chilling in a lap down, thanks iRacing. But it seems that there's still some bugs being worked out with this, but it was amazing to see. The community in the YouTube chat is doing fantastic. They loved it, and there's already talk about interest in a Euro split, so if y'all wanted to start that ball rolling, we could get that conversation about funding for a Euro split broadcast maybe in the future. But yeah, thank you all so much. This is really awesome, and this is the first time PCC has ever had a official broadcast.
Well, I'm glad that Zach's screen share was a part of it, that my desktop was briefly a part of it. What a way for that to have gone. But Austin, once again, thank you so much. Go ahead.
It's honestly the most PCC ending ever.
Yeah, I'm glad we at least still got the back end of the race. Everybody crossing the line. I'm glad we got that. A big thank you to Zach Murders for helping out with that part. Austin, just once again, congratulations to your portion of this behind the scenes, and thank you once again.
Absolutely, and thank you all for broadcasting. And congrats to all the race winners out there. Kevin, Larry, Nick, and Michael.
Absolutely, a really good race to get things going. Austin Knight, community manager for one of the community managers for Production Card Challenge. I now want to go to the guy who is the reason that we're here realistically, Dustin Slider, who ends up coming home. It looks like 5th place still in Mustangs, and Dustin, quite simply, this was the, I think, best way, until the last lap, best way that we could have asked for this season of Production Car Challenge racing to go. And Barber Ford is attached to it, which is a huge deal. A lot of great Mustang racing, specifically. I think the best racing was the Mustangs, certainly out front, Kevin Parrish and Scott Banks, but also you engrossed in battle with David Lamb. How do you sum up all of this, the whole shebang, if you will, from your position behind your wheel?
Man, from my position behind my wheel, I think I could not be happier with a 5th place finish. I mean, David Lamb's a great driver, super respectful. I mean, by iRating, he's twice as good of a driver as I am. You know what I mean? And to be running with somebody like that, definitely a confidence booster. This track's just, I think I was faster than him lap over lap, but this track's such a hard track to pass at. And there's a couple of times where I felt like I could have forced the issue, but really would have, you know, gambled on both of our races. And I didn't want that. Wanted to get the season started off right.
Well, Dustin, I think everything went off really, really well. And hopefully, maybe you grab that, you know, fight, maybe put out the elbows and grab the position in a couple of future races. I know you specifically. You told me you usually run the Tuesday race. You weren't totally sure about running this Monday race, but does this now kind of move things up one day for you? Want to get you behind the wheel a little bit more on these Monday races, especially we had a huge car turnout. I think this is going to be a hit.
You know, I'd have to agree. Monday nights, I was planning on Monday nights and spent a little bit of a rough week with family. Lost my grandfather last week, and today was just one of those bad days. And I really wasn't sure I wanted to race, but you know, you guys putting on the show, you gave me a few words of encouragement. Hey, you know, why don't you get in? You know, my buddy Brad Neer over in Glovebox Motorsports, one of my best friends on the planet. We'd sat and chat for a little bit, and then. Yeah, it was just the race was nice because it changed my focus a little bit.
Well, Dustin, first off, condolences from everybody here at Pit Stop TV. We had you on Friday, didn't know that, but thank you for still being here. This is huge. And thank you for the role that you're playing with Barber Ford, getting involved here with an official series on iRacing that is mixed manufacturer as well. Such a cool class, such a cool series, rather, to be a part of, with 4 different classes of really cool cars in the racetrack, especially that Mustang. Hopefully we get a new one here soon. That would be pretty cool. But the Mustangs definitely, I think, showed why they are one of the best cars, if not the best car in the field. Thank you, Dustin, for everything you do and put into now these broadcasts, plural, throughout the week, both with the Barber Ford Mustang Club, which all of these drivers need to go join as well, whether they're in a Mustang or not. You need to get into the Barber Ford Mustang Club, but also now what's going into Production Car Challenge and this community. They really, I think, need to thank you and Barber Ford. This is such a cool deal. Thank you again.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, man. I mean, first and foremost, we do got to thank Barber Ford. They've been such huge supporters, and you know what for a lot of people is a hobby. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club because you do get free. It's League IDs 3350. Just for being a member there, and I mean, this goes out to all the PCC members. You don't specifically have to drive the Mustang; just be a member there, and we'll match X-Plan pricing here anywhere in the United States from our store. And then anything pre-owned, I mean, you automatically get $500 towards a pre-owned car that transports, for transportation, either a flight to pick up your car or, transportation for the vehicle to get to you, or just $500, on your trade or off the price of the vehicle. You choose how you get to use that. And like I said, it's huge Barber Ford come on board with both Production Car Series and the Barber Ford Mustang Club. And huge shout out to those guys.
Absolutely. Now, quickly before we let you go, how can drivers get involved with the Barber Ford Mustang Club if they'd like to, and they really should?
We race once a month. It's we run the second Friday of every month. Lobby's open at 8 p.m. League 3350, or just search in the search bar there, Mustang Club. Barber Ford Mustang Club. It's like I said, free to join. We are raffling off an H pattern. Participation is really all you need to be involved for that H pattern. The champion is not guaranteed to win that H pattern. Obviously, they do get the most raffle tickets. Your points are raffle tickets. And then we'll raffle that off at the end of the season. And we're already in talks with a few of the guys about season 2 here coming up and what we got to do to put that together.
Absolutely. Great way to get things kicked off. Dustin, thank you once again. Let's get on down now to our Mustang race winner, Kevin Parrish. And Zach, this guy was absolutely lights out behind the wheel. Scott Banks racing with him over the course of the evening. But Zach, I think the most accomplished race winner we've had in a Mustang in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, you did an outstanding job being able to hold on and defend the challenge from Scott Banks. I mean, just walk us through how everything went, because you guys were lights out from the rest of the field and able to just walk away with it.
Yeah, Scotty and I have history. We always have great battles like that, and I always look forward to getting to toe the line with them. Lots of racecraft and just understanding each other and understanding the track.
Absolutely. You guys were putting on a masterclass of performance. I was watching, seeing how late you guys were braking and still not being able to get into each other, just braking so deep into the corner and just rolling right up on the bumper, but not tapping, not bumping out of the way. You guys were clean. You were fair with each other. You're able to just hang on to it. And just towards the end there, before our broadcast went, just kind of tell us how that lap traffic kind of played a factor, because you guys just rolled up on them, and you were able to use them as a pick, some of the Miatas and some of the Toyotas, and keep Scott just waiting in the wind, not being able to catch up to you.
Yeah, it's a nice narrow track, so I was definitely taking advantage of the traffic where I could, trying to put a car between us, and I think it was 2 to go. I got a good break through traffic, got about a half second on him, and that was enough to just hold it off.
Outstanding stuff. Well, you took the win tonight in the first broadcast on here for the Production Car Challenge, and a great crowd to be able to watch as well. They were cheering for you guys. They were all throughout the chat just saying, what a great race it was, what a great production it was, and you guys were able to put on, like I said, just a masterclass, and just great run, and really we hope to see you next week and moving forward with the rest of the season.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be here every week that I can, and I look forward to watching that broadcast. I was hearing good things as well, so as soon as it goes onto replay, I'll be there.
Absolutely. Kevin Parrish, your winner in the Fords. And Andrew, I believe we have one more winner to talk to tonight.
That we do, Nicholas Sudik, who ends up winning in Toyota competition. And Nicholas, it was a hard-fought win for you back there with Tyler Agostino. What was it like behind the wheel for you?
Man, I was sweating in the green room. I was just talking with some of the folks in there saying hello, and like I'm usually pretty relaxed when it comes to driving the 8.6. Like I've always been kind of an open wheel, higher downforce kind of guy, but ever since this car got introduced, it's really become my bread and butter more than anything. But I haven't had to work that hard and use that much like tactical racecraft in quite a while. So it was like big, huge shout outs to Tyler. He was a lion. Like he just kept coming at me, using the draft, just biding his time and then making his moves very quickly. Again, my brain's kind of rattled from it. Wow, yeah, words. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was cool. It was cool. It was very fun. Very fun.
Absolutely. Difficult way to get the season started, but a good race overall. How many more do you plan to do this week? Is this the car you plan to run with for the season to go for points? And schedule is on the screen. I mean, a lot of different racetracks to contend with, and certainly a fun car, interesting car, a versatile car that I think will attack these several tracks pretty nicely. But do you plan to stay in the GR86 or kind of mix it around throughout the week?
You know, I actually do a little shameless plug before anything else. I built some sets for Team Watson Racing, teamwatsonracing.com. And so, like I said, GR is my bread and butter. Love this car. I'm gonna run it. I've been so close to getting an overall podium in this series the last 2 seasons, and I think starting out I got like 150 plus points out of this one. I gotta go for it, man. So you're gonna see me a lot in this series, and especially in this wacky, wild, colored car.
Well, I definitely won't be missing that car on track anytime soon, that's for sure. But also, I really do think this is going to help stack safety ratings. Do you think that's going to help your overall, not safety ratings, I ratings, that's what I'm going for. Is that going to help the points or hurt the points? Is it potentially going to give you more opportunity, but also maybe a little bit more chaos out on the racetrack?
You know what? We keep having events like this, broadcasts like this. Word of mouth is already kind of spreading around even before this race started. I haven't seen an opening Monday night race have that many entries ever, unless it was like Daytona or the Nürburgring. So this bodes really well, just not only for participation, but just overall strength of skill and just really leveling up that the entire roster that comes out for these. Not only for this race, the broadcast race, but throughout the week as well too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Well, Nicholas, thanks for your time. Congratulations on your class win. Hopefully we're talking to you a lot more this season.
All right, thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Nicholas Sudik behind the wheel and winning in Toyota competition. And that GR86 car really is a lot of fun. I think the Mustang, I don't know. I think it's a draw between those two cars, Zach. I don't know how much experience you have in each one. The Mustang is great because it's got a little more power. Of course, it's a little bit faster overall. The Toyota has a little more grip, I feel like, so it's a little more fun to get it to stick in some corners. And then, of course, the Mazda and Renault are great in their own rights. But again, a big thank you to Barbara Ford coming on board with us this season and making this happen. Again, guys, check out www.barberford.net, and a big thank you to Dustin Slider for allowing us to be here this season. This is so cool, and there is that potential. Again, guys, if you talk to Austin Knight, one of the community managers, and I'm sure as well Kevin Parrish, and anybody who you might know as your, I guess, community manager. I think there's a few of them, one on the Euro side as well. I'm still learning everybody's name, but if you get with them in the Production Card Challenge Discord, there's a potential we could do a Euro split and maybe move around a little bit and try out some different time slots. It's a matter of interest from drivers and what we can get going from the community. So Barbara Ford has set us up with a really cool I think, platform to get going here with Production Car Challenge, and I think the sky is the limit, Zach, especially when you look at this schedule. We can now properly talk about it. Suzuka Round 2, Okayama, Silverstone, Spa, VIR. That's cool to me. These cars are going to really run well at VIR. VIR annually has the VIR 24 with Champ Car Endurance Series, and it is such a cool race. You see so many different cars, probably 40 different kinds of car turn up for the 45 or 50 car race for Champ Car Endurance Racing there. Such a cool race, and these guys I think are going to capture a little part of that when they go there for round 6. Week 6, that is. And then, of course, Silverstone, Willow Springs will be amazing. The Nürburgring Nordschleife is going to be crazy for me setting up cameras, but a lot of fun for you guys watching. I'm sure Summit Point, Imola, Orion Park, a really solid schedule through and through.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to a lot of the great racing that we're going to be able to see this season. And, you know, if it's anything like it was tonight, I think we're in for a great season moving forward. I think these guys are going to put on a really great show, and it's just going to be outstanding races moving through this season 4.
Once again, thanks to everybody for tuning in. This has been a resounding success, and I think showing why we're here this evening with Production Car Challenge competition. Now let's take a look what we have upcoming here at Pit Stop TV. Wednesday, next up for us on the list is the UFL Elite Series, going oval racing, short oval racing, the next 2 broadcasts, Wednesday and Sunday, with the UFL Elite Series and Butt Kicker Cup Series for Shake and Bake Racing. These 2 series are at completely separate points in their seasons, but both are going to be so much fun. Zach will be behind the wheel in the race on Wednesday evening in the UFL Elite Series when they go for, I believe, 200 laps, maybe 150 laps, something like that, at Bristol on Wednesday evening. It's round 5 of 12 for them, and they're 4 races away from their playoff cutoff. Meanwhile, on Sunday for the Shake and Bake Racing Butt Kicker Cup Series, they are going into their first playoff elimination race. So very different scenarios for them as they're in the round of 16 for the SNBR Butt Kicker Cup Series, as the UFL guys are still in the middle of their regular season. A lot of things going on there as they both head to Bristol. Then, of course, on Monday, September 18th, we come right back, not quite here, we actually go halfway around the world to Suzuka Circuit for round number 2, week number 2, for SimLab Production Car Challenge action brought to you by Barber Ford. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow along on social media, especially if you're brand new to Pit Stop TV. We're on all of these platforms below. We, in fact, broadcasted this to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Kick. We're not doing Twitch right now because of multi-streaming there, but we do also post social media updates to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so make sure to follow along for everything Pit Stop TV. One more time, a big thank you is deserved to go out to Barber Ford having us here this evening. It would not have been possible without them. Such a cool collaboration going on here, and a big thank you to our partners here at Pit Stop TV as well, Whiplash Media SimCams, ATVO, and CC's Business. That'll do it for us at Oulton Park. A racetrack, honestly, I never thought we'd be broadcasting from. Glad to have done it here at Oulton Park this evening, and a big thank you to those behind the scenes in audio, ATVO, Whiplash Media SimCams, OBS, and iRacing.com. For myself and Zach Murtis, thank you once again for being here. We'll see you next time at Suzuka next week or Bristol on Wednesday.
If you're ready to hit the track in the iRacing Ford FR500S Mustang, then sign up for the Barber Ford Mustang Club today. With great prizes from our awesome sponsors, this league is fast, fun, and best of all, free to race in. Take on 6 races of wheel-to-wheel action, all broadcasted live on Pit Stop TV. As a member, you will receive a $500 voucher to Barber Ford, plus entry into a raffle for a brand new Fanatec H-pattern shifter. Every point you earn on the track is 1 entry into the raffle, meaning you can race your way into a brand new Fanatec shifter drawn on December 15th. Battle your competitors at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Brands Hatch, and for the finale, Lime Rock Park. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club at League ID 3350 today.